I'm going to be showing you how you can make a Kami assignment for your students to complete in Canvas. So you want to go into the Canvas page where you want to add the assignment, and you have two options. You can either go right to the assignment section of the page, or you can go through your modules. I'm going to show modules. So when you get into your modules, you may have them set up in a similar way, but however you have them set up is perfectly fine. I'm going to add the assignment directly into my module. So when I click on it, it usually will automatically go to add assignment, but it might be set to something else. So just make sure that you pick the assignment option. And then you're going to click on create an assignment, and you have to give it a name. So I am just going to call it Kami assignment, but you may want to be more specific. You can choose whether or not to indent. I tend to like to indent any of my assignments so that they're easily visible for the students. So it will automatically populate it at the bottom of your module, but then you can move it by dragging on these dots to the left, and then you can put it wherever you want it to show up in the modules. Then you do have to click on it in order to edit it. So once you get to this window, you need to click on the edit button, and now you can make some decisions. So this is just like creating any other assignment in Canvas. It already has a name. You could change the name if you changed your mind. The box here is for any directions or resources that you may want to provide. But typically with Kami, the students are going to be completing some sort of worksheet in there, and that worksheet may have its own directions already on it. So you are good to leave this blank if you don't want to put any directions in there. Then you scroll down and you have some more decisions to make. If you want to make this assignment worth points, if you're giving it for homework or something, you could do that here, changing that value, whatever you want to do. If you have your Canvas gradebook set to sync with Skyward, you will want to make sure that you choose the specific Skyward group in order to have it sync correctly. If you're just having your students complete this in class, not worth points, you could change it to be complete or incomplete, and that's just kind of a way for you to mark whether it was done or not. Now the next part here is where you really want to, this is where you get into the Kami part. It used to be that you had to click on this submission type and choose an external tool and then search for Kami. But they have updated Canvas since then, and you can choose Kami assignment right from here. You don't have to go digging for it anymore. So you're going to click on Kami assignment, and it takes a little bit of time to load. Perfect. So I'm going to log in with Google, and if you've never connected your Canvas course to Kami, you're going to have to do this also. And you can just allow Kami to have access to these things. You should eventually get to a window that looks like this. So you get to attach a file for Kami to use. You can either pick something from your Google Drive, or you can even use something right from your computer. So either way, I'm going to pick something from my Google Drive. And then what that does is it takes you right into your Google Drive and allows you to kind of search through your folders. So I am going to go into my K-6 materials, and I am going to pick a PDF that I am going to have my students work on. Okay, so I am going to pick this argument organizer. And so now you can see that it is attached to the document. Now you have some settings that you can choose down here. You can honestly leave them all blank, and your students will be able to complete the assignment without any issues. If you choose assessment mode, that's going to kind of focus the students on that one thing and that thing only. So that's certainly an option if you don't want them to have access to anything else. Feature control allows you to choose if you only want to have students able to use certain features, like the pens or typing or something like that. Again, I kind of just let that alone and don't worry about that. This last one, if you click on it, will allow you to see the students' work as they're working on it. So it is a way to kind of monitor what they're doing in real time. But again, it's not necessary. If you just want them to be able to work on something, especially if you're giving it for homework, I doubt you're going to be checking in on their work once you're at home. You can just leave all of these things blank and everything will work just fine. You're going to attach the file. And again, it does take a little bit of time. And you should be alerted that, yes, there's a file added. I also like to make sure that this is checked off, that it loads the tool in a new tab. What this will do is it will just put it in a new tab and allow it to open full size. If it is not clicked, it's going to open within the Canvas window and it makes everything a little bit tiny and difficult to work with. So just something to consider. I like to check that off. Now, again, I mentioned syncing your gradebook to Skyward. If that's something you do, just make sure you have this synced if this assignment is worth points. Last thing, you do need to set a due date. So again, any date that you deem to be appropriate for whatever it is you are assigning, and then you're going to save and publish. Okay, now I need to make sure that that's worth 0. If you're doing complete and incomplete, that has to be set at 0 for it to work. Like it just did for me, it would prompt you if something wasn't correct. Again, we are saving and publishing. And then you can see here that this is what the students will see, and they will simply click on the link to open the assignment, and that will allow them to complete it within Kami. Now, once they come into Kami, it will open the document for them, and then they will be able to use any of the tools from Kami in order to type in here or use their pen and write in here. I might recommend they type, it's easier to read. And then they will have an option to submit right up here. You won't have it if you click on the link because you're the teacher and the owner of the document, but students will have an option to submit right in Kami, and then that's what will submit it for you in Canvas. And then for you to look at what they're doing, you can go right into SpeedGrader. And then obviously nobody submitted anything in here and I don't have actual students in the class. But if I did, like the picture or PDF of what they completed in Kami will show up here so you can see all of their work, and then you can score it and add assignments as needed. So that's how you can do an assignment for Kami. It allows them to be able to work on any worksheet or PDF digitally without needing an actual copy of the page.